All right, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey guys, welcome back to Loosely Outlined. It's Zaea J.
And it's the Black Hokage, aka TBH. You kind of jacked up the intro, but whatever. Welcome back to Loosely Outlined.
How?
Because you're supposed to go Loosely Outlined, the show that's
Loosely Outlined. I'm the one that says Loosely Outlined.
Yeah, but you
say, welcome back to Loosely Outlined, the show that's, and then I'm like, Loosely Outlined.
No, you said I'm Zaea J and welcome back to Loosely Outlined. You were supposed to let me say it's TBH, and then I'd be like, welcome back to Loosely Outlined, the show that's, and then you were like,
Loosely Outlined.
Yeah, I'm not tripping off it. I was just messing with you.
Oh, I didn't even hear myself say that.
Yeah, you just be talking. I mean, this is what this whole show's about.
Imagine.
Oh, my bad.
Dang,
I'm over here
you're
kicking
kicking my water.
My bad. But yeah, if you're listening to the audio version, come on over to the visual version at youtube.com/loosely outlined. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. All that BS. We back again with another episode. Didn't you say before we started recording you had some smart ass shit you wanted to say? What do you want to get off your chest?
Your parking yesterday.
Go ahead, tell your little goofy ass story. It wouldn't have been funny. First of all, this story is only funny because it came out good, but go ahead. Because it would have been bad.
I was scared. I was sweating for a second. So, okay. So, Corey tried to pull into a parking space yesterday. Okay, to be fair, in the parking garage, there wasn't a lot of spaces.
And it's on a hill. It's like slanted.
It's slanted. And it's all the cars were like, the parking spaces aren't that large.
It wasn't. This wasn't your average. It's a challenge to park where I live. But go ahead.
So I don't really know how to like describe this, but you tried to pull in. It might have been too sharp of a turn because the side doors of the car were literally like an inch away from the front of the car that was parked, because they were parked in reverse, like near their headlight. It was like an inch away. And I was like, stop. I was like, stop. I was like, you're literally about to hit them. And then I was like, do you see that? And you looked in the rearview mirror and you're like, yeah, I see it. I was scared. So,
but hey, did I stay calm though?
I feel like we were both pretty calm.
Okay, fair enough.
So then I was like, okay, like you're gonna have to back out the same way you came in. And then I said, do you want me to try? And you were like, sure, if you want to go for it. Then my life flashed before my eyes because I was not about to fuck up your car. And I had no way of paying for that if I messed it up.
You wouldn't have had to pay for it because it was my fault to get in that situation in the first
I would have
place.
felt bad.
You'd have felt bad, but I wouldn't have been mad at you.
Because it would have scraped the whole side.
Also, to be fair, too, I felt like I was rushed because there was a car coming from in front and then there was a car coming from the back. So I was getting sandwiched and I felt like I had to turn in and I got pressured by that shit. So I just wasn't ready. Like, that was one of those ones where you had to make a really precise movement, especially because you let them know I drive the big body Benz, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's one of those things where you have to like turn, like you have to make a huge wide turn to get the car to fit in. And yeah, there was a car behind us and a car in front of us. And I actually, when I was in high school, made that same mistake when I was leaving a Starbucks, and I side swiped the entire side of my Altima.
Oof! So you had PTSD flaring up. That's what it is.
Listen, we're gonna side swipe it.
Yeah, you had a That's So. You seen That's So Raven? When she would go, you said, "Ooh," you went back to high school. Oh my god!
I was like, you know what? Nah. I was like, I'll guide you out. But
she did. She stood out there. She held her brother down.
Yeah, I was like, don't turn the wheel at all. I was like, keep going. This guy walked by and he looked at us and he was just like,
he was watching. You know, the funny thing is, he was the most irritating thing about that situation because it was a white dude and I feel like he was just watching. He was like, I'll snitch.
There was a black guy. You didn't know, excuse you were in the car. Okay. Black guy walked by. He was like,
they was ready to snitch, boy. They was ready to snitch, boy. But we didn't touch it. We didn't touch it. I got to tell the true story too. So she was outside helping me back outside, so I don't hit the car right. I had to put my music on. I put the Naruto music on. I got motivated, and then I turned into the Hokage. I backed that thing because you wasn't in the cabin at the time.
The windows were down.
Can I just tell my story?
Yeah.
So the Naruto music started playing, the battle music and shit. I backed it up, you know what I'm saying? We didn't hit the car. Then we ended up reparking and everything was fine. But it was a sticky situation last day. It was definitely a sticky situation.
Yeah. I used to feel like when I was driving, and there was people around me that I had to like rush also. But like one day I just came to the realization like they can wait.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah. It is that serious. Put your car in reverse and find another parking spot. But they can wait because at the end of the day, if you do scratch your car, they're not the ones paying for it.
This is true. This is true.
So, or they can go around because there was times where you try to park and you're like waving to tell the person to go around. And
literally waving like, come on, go, bro.
Like sitting there like.
Yeah, like I'm like, because I want the extra space and like, oh, so you're gonna limit that. To me, that's dickhead shit to me because I know you see me waving you, like, just come on, bro. And he had space to pass by me.
Next time, I'm just gonna roll down the window and I'm gonna be like, go, and just tell them to go.
I guess that's one of those reminders is like, not everybody thinks the same way as you. Because like I always try to be considerate of other people. That's why I just turned in so I can give him some space, pass by, and then I can take my time parking in. But
he
like,
still didn't want to go.
Yeah, he wanted to tell, oh, this is gonna be a good show. Go somewhere, dickhead. I'm doing my thing, okay? Jesus Christ.
I'm doing my thing.
You know, I got a big coming through, but man, the Tessie fine, you know what I'm saying? It was an electrifying situation, but you know, it's cool. It's all
right. Is that a Bessie and a Tessie?
Absolutely. We still haven't made that TikTok, by the way. I don't even know what that TikTok would look like.
I don't remember. Like I had a whole idea for it and I don't remember anymore.
You gotta start writing your ideas down so that you don't forget them. I do that in a Google Doc. I do that too for two reasons.
Oh wait, maybe it's in our Google Doc. I'll have to check after.
A what doc?
Our Google Doc.
Oh, I thought you said an arguable doc.
No, our Google Doc.
Google. Are you trying to do the JG shit?
Yeah,
I didn't cheat. I just used the Google. Freaking. Yeah, you gotta write down the ideas. I do that for two reasons. One, well, the main reason actually is just because I like to go back and look at ideas, and I feel like if it's not good the second time I look at it or the third time, it probably wasn't that good in the first place. Because you always think an idea is good when you first have it.
I need to like. Because what I do when I write down my TikTok ideas or like any video ideas, it is so vague that when I go back to read it, I'm like, what was I even trying to say here?
Yeah, you gotta be.
Remember.
That's why, like, whenever I do like show notes for podcasts, I always leave links to what I'm talking about because I don't ever want to assume you know what's going on. And when I do like the GI podcast or something like that,
sometimes I like to be surprised.
Why?
Like when you post stuff in the show notes?
Is that your excuse for being lazy? Like you just don't want to pay attention to the notes?
No, sometimes I just want to be surprised. No, like I won't click on, like I'll read it and I'm like, what does that even mean? But I won't click on the link.
When you gonna surprise me with some notes?
I did the other day.
You did? What were you talking about?
The 6, 7, 8 rule.
Oh yeah, you did actually. Yeah, I take that back. My bad. I take that L. I acknowledge it. See what that is? Accountability. I'll take that L. But yeah, that was crazy, the parking stuff. But I saw some crazy stuff on Twitter. I want to talk about this. No. I want to hear your thoughts on this. So this woman, there's no point in saying her name, but she has over 36,000 likes on Twitter for this tweet, and she said, "Job shaming is very, very weird." First of all, before I even get to the second and like third tweet, what do you think of when you hear job shaming?
I think
because I never heard this term before. So
I think of job shaming as like people assuming that if you work somewhere that maybe it's not like a luxurious job, like let's say you work like fast food or something, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're job shaming you for working there. Like you're still working, like you're still going to work every day and like making money and stuff. But then I also feel like a lot of people hold someone's value to the job that they have. Because it's not super, especially now, it's not like super easy to get a job. Like, yeah, you can get a job like at a grocery store or something. But when you're saying like, I don't know, I think
we can all acknowledge at the point in which whatever job we're working at right now, let's say you're bagging groceries at Safeway or something, you can acknowledge that that's a stepping stone. But for some reason, people can't acknowledge that's a stepping stone for somebody else, if that makes sense. They just judge them, oh, you're bagging groceries, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because they think that somebody's less than just because of their job they're doing.
Why do you think people are like that? What's the psychology behind the buffoonery?
Let me try to get into the mind of somebody that job shames.
The mind of the fuckery.
My brain's like that SpongeBob episode where they're like...
Me away?
No. They're in his brain and they're like looking for a file and everything's on fire and they're like running in circles.
I don't remember. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, the meme. Yeah.
Honestly, I can't really put myself into that mindset.
It literally doesn't make any sense, and it's a contradiction. It's hypocritical.
That's like what It's like people that talk shit about people that are like plumbers and stuff.
Well, that's what I was gonna
And
get
then
at
they
too.
make a lot of money.
It feels like if you're not working a white collar job or you're not an online influencer or a celebrity, one of those three in the bracket, people don't respect what you do, which is weird. And
yeah, that's weird.
out of curiosity, do you feel like it's more men or women that job shame?
Why you gotta do that to me?
I just want to hear your opinion. I give mine, but I'm like, ladies first. Ladies first. I'm a gentleman. If you had to guess, we have no data. This is all just our opinions.
I'd say the majority of people that I have seen, because now I'm going to go based off the data. The majority of people that I have seen job shaming have been women.
Why do you feel that is, though?
You know, I don't know. Because I don't do that.
It's a shame. That's actually what they talk about a lot in that manosphere content. They talk about like a lot of these women say that they want a man that makes $100,000 a year. And the easiest way, the largest abundance of those men are men that work blue collar jobs. A lot of women assume because he works on roofs or he's a plumber or an electrician or a welder that he has no money when they actually pay very well.
I mean, he's still working hard.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. And yeah, the way like a lot of men's brains work is like as long as that man is feeding his family, usually men don't really care what you do because you're taking care, you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man. So I would agree that I've seen job shaming from men who are like, oh, would you do this? But it's mostly women, unfortunately, from what I've seen.
I've mostly seen it from women.
Hey,
I could say that I don't do that.
Good. Keep an open mind. It should be about a person's character, and as long as they're able to provide for you, because that's really weird. That's why a lot of people, that shit is toxic. That's why a lot of people are single and lonely. Not only do you want somebody to provide for you, but you want to put a stipulation on how he provides for you. As long as it's legal, as long as he ain't no dope dealer, what is the issue?
Yeah, as long as they're like working hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff.
So in the second tweet, she says,
"Oh no, there's just
yeah." She puts in the quotation. She's just giving some examples.
Okay.
It's no reason you're over a certain age at a certain job. She thinks that's extremely weird and judgmental. And then she said, "Best jobs and still can't make ends meet by judging someone working at McDonald's or whatever." Do you think that's weird though? It's no when people say that, it's no reason you're over. It's no reason why you're over a certain age. Like, why are you 40 working at McDonald's? Like, do you think that? Because that's like an ageism thing too. Like, do you think that's weird?
It's no reason you're over a certain age at a certain job. And y'all have the best jobs but still can't make ends meet judging someone working at McDonald's.
I would say, in my opinion, it's not ideal for like someone in their mid or even in their 30s to be working at McDonald's. But at the end of the day, if they're paying their bills and their family's eating and they're happy, it's none of my goddamn business.
But yeah, there's so many factors and so many things that could have happened as to why they're working there.
Yeah.
Also, places like Starbucks and Taco Bell, they pay your tuition.
Really? Mm-hmm. I did not know this.
Yeah, and like some like okay, so I think
that actually Taco Bell, that does make sense. The reason they serve so much dog meat to everybody in their burritos is because all of the budget is going towards tuition. You guys might want to start working. I can't deal with you.
There's a lot of vegetarian options at Taco Bell, just so you know. But
there's a lot of dog meat too. But go ahead. I'm not saying you're wrong. Go ahead.
Oh my god. I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
But those managers, they make pretty decent money. Like, yeah, you're gonna be working hard because you're running a Taco Bell. They make pretty decent money, and if you move up, you can make six figures. I applied to be a district manager at Whataburger because they make six figures.
I didn't know that.
I didn't get it.
I think, well, obviously, we're doing a podcast where you guys should rate it 5 stars. I think a lot of that is people projecting what they want out of life on other people. Because, like, if somebody's a janitor, if they enjoy doing that shit, I mean, I have a hard time believing it, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that thoroughly enjoys what they do. It's none of your fucking business as long as they're paying their bills and they're doing positive and they're doing what they're doing is legal.
Yeah, maybe they want a job where they don't have to interact with a lot of people daily or something.
That's real.
There's literally so many reasons as to why someone would be in a certain job. And job shaming is, like, this is stupid. And then especially now, when we're in COVID, a lot of people are also just taking what they can get to
that's
survive.
A very valid point. Yeah.
So if you're gonna trash somebody and talk shit about them just trying to keep their head above water and survive, like, that's just a shitty thing to do. Also, it's none of your fucking business. Take care of your own life.
Right.
So
a lot of those people aren't even doing that well either. Like they're working like regular jobs, just maybe a job that's slightly better than a McDonald's one, and they're just talking down on people.
It really is projecting.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see. So
yeah, just focus on yourself.
Stop job shaming out there. Stop job shaming. What's some of the jobs you've worked? I don't think I've ever. I mean, I know a few, but I don't think I've ever asked you to go down like your laundry list of things. Like, is there any obscure or weird jobs that you can think of?
Not really. I got my first job when I was 15.
What'd you do?
On base. I worked at a bowling alley. So
Mm.
I sprayed people's stinky shoes, and I worked the cash register.
You didn't just spray the shoes. You was doing weird shit, didn't you? You was
Why
smelling
would
the
I
shoes.
do that? Like, people need to wash their damn feet. There's no reason that should smell that bad.
You ever seen somebody barefoot at the bowling alley?
No. What
Good.
if they drop the bowling ball on their toe?
They bad.
Yeah. The only time you see someone like with their socks on, it's just like if they're changing into the bowling shoes. But, you know, like, just clean your feet, because all we did was go flip it over, and that's how you sanitize them.
I bagged groceries in high school and at the commissary, and which is on military bases. And
I worked on a military base. The bowling alley.
Yeah, both our parents were in the military.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned about the how terrible humanity can be. Fucking just that's before Karen was like a meme and like a thing. That's what I learned about Karens. Like I remember one time in specific, I got cussed out by a Karen and this is how they taught us to bag the groceries. If you don't put anything in the bag with eggs unless it's soft. So usually like people would combo the eggs with the bread. And like I did that one time, and this Karen came and cussed me out. I didn't get in trouble with my boss because he knew that was the right thing. But I think she was just having a bad day. Like, who do you think you are? And you just had to sit there and eat that shit, bro, because you got to work for fucking tips or whatever.
I hate that. I learned that too. Not at the bowling alley. It's pretty chill. Just people just get drunk all the time. But it was never anything crazy. After that, I worked at a movie theater. Wasn't that bad. I just swept popcorn all the time and cleaned throw up.
You ever at Anthony's Pizza on base?
No.
Did you see it?
No.
You were on some weird bases.
No.
I miss Anthony's Pizza.
That's San Antonio base.
Oh yeah, they just double fisting churros and shit. Was it big old women on the base too?
I don't think so. I wasn't ever really allowed to go around on base. I would go on base, off base with my parents. We lived on base, but they knocked our house down to make a parking lot. So then we lived off of base.
My favorite, I don't want to say my favorite, but one of my favorite pizza chains was like a military exclusive. It's called Anthony's Pizza. It was really good. That's the only thing I missed from like my childhood. I would get a whole pie and eat it after like wrestling practice.
Maybe I had it. I don't know, but
I worked in a gym too.
A gym?
Yeah, it was a military gym too. That was interesting. You got to meet a lot of interesting characters. People were mostly friendly. I just checked IDs, and then they also made me wipe down machines and fold towels. I did like all the little things. It was cool. That was in high school. I get to meet a lot of women there. I just didn't like cleaning the machines because a lot of times people would leave the machines and it'd be drip, 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 drip. It'd be like really drippy with like sweat and shit because people don't wipe the stuff down. It was
3 seconds. I've always wiped down my machines after I work out.
But the cool thing about working at the gym was you got to work out. Like it's pretty chill. Like you just keeping the place clean for the most part. It doesn't require like a lot of like thought behind it. So whenever the towels are folded or like I did what I needed to do, like wipe the machines, they would let me go work out. I could take a whole hour break when it wasn't even actually my break to just go work out because they only need one person to sit there and check the IDs and stuff like that.
Not bad.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Other than that, I used to work odd jobs too, raking leaves, shoveling snow.
See, I never did all of that.
I used to sell albums. I used to sell music. Which is funny because my parents brought that up when I went to go visit them like last month. I don't know if I had told you that. Yeah, I used to do parodies of songs like yeah, they was like, yeah, we found your old album. I was like, shit. I mean, like 2000.
Listen to it.
No, you don't.
Please.
No, I don't have it. It's at my parents' house. You would have to come to my parents' house to even hear that shit.
Tell them to burn it on the
No. Because all it takes is one burn of the CD and that shit ends up on the internet. No. We keeping it in the vault. And my parents had the nerve to ask me. They was like, do you want it? No, y'all can have that shit.
You they should have took it.
No, y'all can keep that shit. I was like, maybe when I have a family one day, I play it for like my kids or something like that. But like, yeah, look at your dad. He used to get in his bag real quick, bro. But I told him, I was like, yeah, that shit was ass, but I made $2,000 off of that shit.
Dang.
I made in high school, that was lit, bro. Like I was living the rapper. I used to literally burn the CD, and I would walk around during lunchtime and be like, "Yo, you want to buy my album?
Do you think
$10."
somebody else out there still has it?
I believe I'm only in contact with like 2 people from high school still, and it's like very casual. And his wife, I was really good friends with his wife at the time in high school. I believe she has the CD because the last time I talked to her, she said she was cleaning her house and she saw it and she started laughing because it reminded us when we were all kids and stuff like that. So maybe she has it, but other than that, I don't think so. But yeah, that's for the kids. Let them like your dad was really out here hustling, bro. I really had to get it because that was before my parents would let me get a job. But that's just
My parents, as soon as I could work,
please.
was going to. I didn't realize how many jobs I had until I like really started thinking about it right now. But it was never odd jobs.
I think that's pretty normal. I think that's pretty normal for like people our age to have like a lot of different jobs. It's only recent to, I feel like, where people are complaining. I mean now because of COVID, but I mean before COVID, where people were complaining there's nothing to do, and I'm like, there's so many different ways to get money nowadays.
Yeah, I worked. Where did I work after the movie theater? I worked at a Whataburger. Went home smelling like fries every day.
I bet you was eating good though.
Wearing bright orange. Yeah, I got free food.
Yeah.
And then after Whataburger, I worked at a call center. And after the call center, I worked at a phone store. I don't want to say which one. And then after that, I worked at another phone store. I've never worked at Cricket. And then after that, I worked at another phone store. And then after that, I worked at another phone store.
Damn, you sold phones to half of America.
I've I worked at AT&T, so I'll say like I worked at AT&T for 3 years, and oh my god, I worked in a rich area.
Yeah,
bro, I was just getting like verbally abused all the fucking time.
What's the meanest thing you heard?
I'm not gonna sit here and listen to someone that makes less than $20,000.
I'm not gonna lie, that's mean, but that shit is mad petty. I might like if you said that to me like in the moment and like you were like really upset, I might giggle like yeah, that shit is sad.
I
like,
just looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, I make more than $20,000.
I make 30." No, that is really fucked up. That's some Karen level shit. You're beneath me, bruh. That's a little too much. But kind of going back to like the job stuff, the reason that especially why we shouldn't be making fun of like job shaming people is I had read an article recently that now in America there's no job that pays minimum wage that where people can actually afford to live, basically like pay the rent. Like you need either a second job or like a roommate, and that's in every state in every major city. I was like, yo, that is a fucking problem, bro.
I think it was like you needed something like $20-something an hour, because I was reading that even like, and this was a few years ago that I was reading that like even $16 an hour wouldn't get you. I think it was going based off of the 2-bedroom apartment, but like that wouldn't even get you like really anything, honestly. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people my age living with like 4 other people.
I remember when I thought $20 an hour was a lot.
$20 an hour?
Yeah, that shit is like 30-something thousand, ain't it?
Yeah.
Why are you looking like that? You feel like, oh, you got something to say?
Because that's how much I make.
I mean, I'm not judging you.
I think I make. Actually, I have no fucking idea.
I was like
no idea.
I was like 19 making that shit, and like when you don't have no bills and you're still living with your parents and stuff like that, like that is a lot of money. Like getting your little $600 paycheck or whatever.
Okay, I was making $600 a check.
That was when I was like in high school or something. Like I don't remember the exact numbers. But like that's always, of course you balling because all you got is a phone bill. You don't got no real life bills, bro. Like that's the people that be screaming they grown the most. The ones that only pay their phone. I'm grown. I'm like, bro, you live with your parents. You just pay your phone bill. Cut it out.
If I went out all the time, I'd definitely be broke. 100%.
Are you saying that that's why most people are broke?
There was a point in my life, like I would say it was a very short point in my life because I realized how much money I was spending, where I was going out to eat with my friends like a lot, like a few times a week. And I was like, oh, we're going to get food. Oh, I want an appetizer. Oh, I'm going to get 2 drinks. And then your bill comes and it's just like $80. And you're doing that like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeesh.
I had no money. I told my friends.
Y'all weren't splitting the bill?
I was like, huh?
Y'all weren't splitting the bill?
We paid our own bills.
So
it was like, but I mean, they were roughly around the same price for like every meal, depending on what you got. But oh my god, no, I can't do that anymore. It was too much.
I never had a period where like I was constantly going out with my friends and spending money like at dinner and stuff like that. Like most of my money that I've spent, like where I've spent large sums, usually came from when I had like a woman in my life, like a girlfriend. I remember I had that epiphany like 2 exes ago when I had broke up with her. I remember like the very next day I went to the grocery store and I spent only $8 on dinner.
Oh my god!
And like this is a true story. Like Ethos can attest this. I remember Ethos was in Discord and I came home from the grocery store. He's like, man, why you sound like you in a good mood? He's like, why? I was like, bro, guess what? He's like, what? I was like, dude, I just spent $8 at the grocery store, bro. This single life is lit, dude. But other than that, because though having a significant other, that shit is expensive, especially when you ain't got it like that.
Literally, and I can relate to that because in my last relationship, it was like I was like the man in the relationship. So I had that same epiphany that you had. I went out to eat because just to like, like kind of
paint the picture. Paint the picture.
In my last relationship, I paid for everything. Literally everything. Like we would go out to eat. I paid for it. He didn't. I hate like talking about it. Like he didn't go to work for a year. I paid the rent. Like I was paying all the bills. He was using my money to go buy stuff.
You don't have to say it. I'll say he's a bum.
Yeah. So like, also, I mean, there's like a lot behind that. But after I broke up with him, I went out to eat. I spent like $12 or $13 on a meal. Like I didn't go to the grocery store. I like went out to eat. And like when I got the check, I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Also, because I didn't like to drink a lot. My ex drank a lot. So like, when you add drinks to stuff, it just like skyrockets the check because you get 2 drinks and it's like $30.
I don't know because I don't drink and I've never drank, so I don't know about like alcohol. So like, how much would you say like an average cost of a beer would be in San Antonio at a bar?
A beer is cheaper.
It depends. You was drinking that lit shit, like it was more expensive stuff.
Well, like
banana cognac, biatch.
Like the last time I went out with my friends, I got like this like the smoky pineapple drink. That was like $16.
Just the smoky.
It's just like a smoky pineapple drink, but I got 2 of them, so it was like what, like $32.
Oh my god!
On top of my $20 meal.
You can get the 2 for $20 at Applebee's. What the fuck?
I know. So like,
I know, right?
I don't know, because like sometimes you go to places and they have like $2 beers. But I don't know. I mean, roughly you'd probably pay like 7 to 10-ish for a beer, and then a mixed drink is usually 10-ish to like 15 or 16-ish per drink.
Jeez.
Unless you're going to somewhere like crazy and it's $24 for a drink.
So that adds up. Next thing you know, towards the end of the last week of the month, you look at your bank account, that bitch in the red. You're like, oh my goodness. You start reconsidering everything.
I was in the negatives all the time, and it was not my doing, but like, because my ex would spend my money too. But I made the mistake of giving him access to my bank account.
Oof, never, never, never. That's for like marriage maybe, but like, and then you gotta really trust that person.
So I thought I was gonna marry him.
Fair enough. We love makes you do crazy things.
Yeah, but like I went to the restaurant. I didn't order any alcohol because I don't like to drink, and I don't drink anymore. It's close to my mouth.
Nah, you be like down here, bro. Like I need you to do like this. You feel me?
Yeah, I ain't doing all that. I tell you, we needed to scoot the couch up.
Nah.
I wonder if they heard the thud of your head.
They might have, because the mic was close enough, and I got a big ass head. That bitch sound like Thor Hammer.
Yeah, like I went out. I don't drink anymore, and I didn't get a drink. I just got my food. It was like $12 with like the tip and everything, and I was like, oh my god. And then later on, when I moved out by myself, and like after I paid all my bills, and I still had like a decent amount of money left, I was like, did I forget to pay something? I was like, what am I missing? And I'm like, oh no, I have money now. And then I was able to take care of myself a little bit more.
Right.
I have myself some
and you know the crazy part is like we have friends that are like, now that we're getting a little bit older, especially you, they're stuck in this vicious cycle. They're stuck in this vicious cycle. They're still doing this where they're just going out and eating and drinking all the goddamn time.
I showed you my Snapchat, and I would like to say that I don't like to use Snapchat. I just have it for my one friend who's a girl.
I wasn't judging. I actually didn't know where you're going. I don't use Snapchat, so I didn't know where you're going with that.
I don't like Snapchat. I
It's
don't
like for
use
teens to
it,
me.
but sometimes, every once in a while, I get curious and I look at people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it feels like they're stuck in like this weird limbo
Mm-hmm.
where they're just like going out and getting trashed and posting themselves getting trashed. And then the next day they have to wake up early for work and they're like, I'm hungover and I'm sick and like, why do I have to do this? And they're like
Not as young as you used to be. Yeah. And that shit hit you.
Yeah, I showed you like it was just drinks. Like it was like someone's drinking, I tap it. Someone's twerking, I tap it. Someone's drinking.
To me, life is all about experiences, and like you're still doing the same things at 29 that you were doing at 21. You're about to enter your 30s and shit, and it's like you've literally been doing this for like the last 7 or 8 years, every weekend. Sometimes not even the weekend, on weekdays too, going out and drink. Like when, at what point do you get tired of that?
I don't know. I always would get sick after I drank. Even if I had like 1 or 2 glasses of wine or something, I would feel sick.
I've never drank. I was never interested in drinking. My parents don't drink. They don't smoke. And then also, I remember in high school, I heard it's not true, but I remember in high school for driver's ed when they put the little drunk goggles on you. I was like, this is what it feels like. This shit is whack. I couldn't walk straight and stuff. I was like,
actually, that reminds me. I was in my fucking, I think it was like a health class or like, I don't think it was sex ed or anything. It was like a health class and they had the drunk goggles and I was like, I'm not putting that shit on.
mm-hmm.
And this kid fucking ran and ran into the wall with it. I totally forgot that was a fucking memory until you
just brought it up. Don't you love it? Memories activated that Assassin's Creed sequence for you. Like freaking
God.
But you know what else is fascinating that you just showed me before the fucking before we started recording? This woman.
No.
Yes. Oh yes.
No.
Yes. I'm not gonna get into details. I thought it was really fascinating. This woman showed me her old Bumble account. I just thought it was interesting to see all the options she had. Like, I'm not saying that like you were doing anything, but it was just really interesting to see all the men that were like you were able to talk to and have all the access to.
It's overwhelming. I will say it's overwhelmingly bad.
And that's what they talk about in a lot of the manosphere content. That's the problem with a lot of modern women, is that there's there's a term for it where you have too much choice. So then you can't, it feels like you're always settling. You can't just pick somebody. You okay? Is that the mating call for Juicy Crab? She's like, can we hear this recording up? We gotta go to Juicy Crab.
Yeah, what time is it? No.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, I was listening. You said it was like a bunch of like manosphere content. And
yeah, they talk about that, like where there's too many options for women, so then they have a hard time picking. They don't know which one's the best. I heard Gordon Ramsay talk about that once too. Like that's how you can tell whether or not a restaurant is good or not, depending on how large the menu is. If the menu's too large, then people won't know what to pick. But if you give them less options, they're more inclined to pick something, as long as those options are consistent. And I just found it really fascinating that you had so many different men that you could talk. I saw at least like 30 messages in there that you were talking to, like different conversations. And I'm over here looking at my phone. I'm like, damn, I'm over here trying real hard in life and shit. I got maybe 2-3 options at the moment. I was like, okay. Jesus.
So like that's what we were talking about though, is like I had a lot of options, but then once I started showing you the options,
they weren't good. Yeah.
They were horrible.
Right.
They were so bad. And a lot of it was also like the ones that weren't bad. I don't know if they're not like they're bad or not, because they don't put any sort of bio or like they don't put any sort of effort behind creating their profile. So if you're not going to put the effort into just making your profile, why am I going to think that you're going to put effort into me?
So put the fellas on. Most of the audience is male. So what's a good dating profile for online dating profile for a man? What do you think most women would look for?
All right, guys.
Talk to them.
I got you. Let me first start out with like maybe what you should not do. Weird angles. I don't want to see up your nose. I learned how to take a selfie.
I'm glad you specified that, because I was like, what do you mean weird angles? Like the camera up his anal cavity or something? Like,
no. But like guys will take photos like they're a 50-year-old man named Jeff on Facebook. Like they'll take photos from like down here. Like it's just not flattering. And then I'm like, why the fuck did they post that? Like there's something missing as to why they're posting a photo like that. Pictures of guys holding fishes.
I can answer that. It's biology. Men don't care. Most men do not care about taking a picture till it's time to post it on the profile picture. And like, even still, they don't really know what's good and bad, because of the two genders, scientifically, women are much more social, so they understand those type of things better. Most men are not. They're literally not wired to understand what's a good and a bad
Then
picture.
take the time and the effort to learn what a good photo is.
So you're saying get on YouTube?
Get on YouTube. Get on Google. Figure it out, because there are a lot of women that are talking about the things that they like to see. So I said, don't post fish. There's like a running joke between a lot of women about men that sit there posing with a fucking fish. No, we don't care. Most girls don't care about fishing. Most girls don't care about sports. There are girls that care about sports.
On the flip side of things, though, when a man has needs and wants, though, what if he wants a woman that likes to fish? Like, what about what he wants? It's not just about you.
Then putting it in the bio. Don't put.
So you're specifically just talking about the picture, not just the hobby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want to list your hobbies.
For sure.
I want to see if our hobbies kind of align. We don't have to have the same exact hobbies, but I want to see.
Can I work with it, basically?
Yeah, I want to see if they align, because if Bill over here is like, oh, I'm into clubbing. And I'm into like...
That's not a hobby.
I'm... whatever. Like, but if he's like, oh, I'm into clubbing and I'm into like stage diving and like bar dancing or something, I'm gonna be like, okay, like we're not gonna get along at all. But as far as the pictures, I would say you want to seem as inviting and friendly as possible, because a lot of women are under the assumption that you're just a murderer. Some guys look murdery. Like, I use that to describe a lot of guys. Like, this guy look murdery. Like, he looks like he might kill me.
That's an interesting, like, contradiction, because it's like, you mean to tell me you open the app and just assume they're all murderers? I can understand that like, in the real world, but it's a dating app.
I will say at least one of them in there is a murderer.
Okay, you're not wrong. Statistically speaking, yes. It's going to happen. One of them's a serial killer. And we ain't talking Fruit Loops.
Because it's like, but like, to be serious for a second, like, it's sad because you see a lot of women that go on dating apps that do end up getting killed.
For sure.
So that one guy that I showed you, where his picture, he was like buzzing and his eyes look crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, he looks murdery.
I agree with you that like the fishing one, I understand the male's perspective. Like, oh, this is what I like to do, so this is why he's sharing it. But on your side, I understand. There was a picture of a profile, and the dude's eyes were like, and I was like, he looked straight up crazy. I was like, why the fuck did you post that? I understand that.
The guy that sent me okay, I think I talked about this on the podcast before. The guy that sent me a picture of his hand with a bunch of teeth in it. He had the same crazy eyes. He was a cop. Anyways.
Makes sense.
So for photos, I'm scarred by that photo.
Yeah,
I think I would have preferred to get a dick pic at that point.
Hey, yo, you better chill out for your Instagram start popping, bro.
Instagram has a little blur, so if it's a peepee, I know not to click on it.
You don't know if it's gonna be a peepee. It could be something else.
Anyway, for photos, I would say photos that are clear. It's better if it's not a selfie. You could have one selfie, I'd say. But if you're only taking selfies, I want to see that you have a social life. So I want to see photos of you with your friends, like doing things. I don't know, like if you go hiking and you go hiking with your friends, take a photo of you with your guy friends hiking.
For sure. You want to look like you have your own a different life.
You want to seem like open and inviting.
If I could actually add to that too, is like one of the mistakes I feel like a lot of men don't realize, and this kind of falls into the leadership thing. Regardless of what women say on social media, they want a man who leads. And an example of that in the relationship being is she wants you to lead her into your life. And that kind of elaborates into what, if you like hiking, post a picture of you and your friends hiking, because what she's going to do is she's going to look at that picture and, try to plant herself into the picture and think, do I want to be a part of his life? But if you don't have any type of life to lead her into,
because it's a clear photo. Make sure that you look hygienic and put together. Make sure that you're dressed well. Make sure your photos are like bright. It's pretty much just being like inviting. If you have a picture with a dog, post it.
Always, if you got the dog.
Because I will say, if you're posting those types of photos, you're going to stand out a little bit more, because what I'm seeing is, here's a guy with the fish. Here's another guy with the fish. Here's a guy with murdery crazy eyeballs. Here's a guy at the gym. I'm like, personally, I'm sick of gym selfies. I see it all the time. I get it. You have muscles. I don't really care.
You're also
Why are you
further
gonna-
proving the point of like women are more social. What you're describing is you're literally looking for a man that's social, that has a social life, because that's what you want. You want to be implemented into that, and family is also very important. So like these are the things they want to see. Can you socialize with others, not just pictures by yourself?
Yeah, or like that guy that had a picture of his shirt open all the way.
Oh yeah, the black. Yeah, you just trying to fuck.
I was like, bro, and if that's what you're looking for, be more straightforward about it.
What should a man type? Should he just straight saying his bio? I'm just trying to fuck.
No, because then you
With
look
a capital
like a
F?
douche.
So what do you gotta say?
But if you lightly hint at it, like, I'm just looking to make friends, or I'm just looking for fun people to get to know and hang out with, not looking for anything serious. But if I had to give like a general vibe as far as a dating profile, just make yourself seem
friendly, open, like basically like
and
somebody
not
can be seen in public.
egotistical.
Wait, how does one come across as egotistical in a profile?
Here's my huge bulging abs. Like, some guys will just have pictures of their abs, like, straight up.
You know, it's funny. I heard on TikTok that men who actually work out understand that the side effect of working out is like a lot of dudes work out, unfortunately, because they're trying to get girls, but the true side effect of it is more dudes are going to try to talk to you because they're going to ask you, and this is true, they'll ask you what your workout routine, what your diet. This is every fucking stream with me. They think that they're going to get it's not the girls, like you. And it's funny you said that, like, don't be showing it's a bonus is what it sounds like to you. Like, if you have it, cool, you look good, but like your character matters more than anything.
Yeah, I don't. For me, like, I'm sure there's girls that are like, I need to have a guy with abs, with a six-pack.
Same way there are men who are like, I'm only dating chicks with fat asses and fat titties and a small waist.
But like, a majority of people are not like that at the same time.
For sure.
I've always been like attracted to guys that I feel like there's a certain level of femininity that men can have that's attractive.
What do you mean?
It's very hard to explain because it's like a person by person.
Please don't say hygiene
basis. No, that doesn't make you feminine. That's just
no, because men be on that bullshit where they be like, oh, if you wash your ass, or like, you know, use facial products or whatever, like you're gay or feminine. But like, I've heard women
gay to take care of yourself. That doesn't make any sense.
Everything's gay nowadays, bro. I literally seen on Twitter some chick say if you use a number 2 pencil, you're gay. I'm like, what? What are you talking about, bro? And obviously she was trolling, but
I can't wrap my head around that.
But I've seen women and men that be on that bullshit. I've seen women do it where they're like, oh, you wash your face way better than me. What's wrong with you? Type shit. And that's why dudes be confused by this stuff. I don't be on that side. I personally say, the most masculine thing a man can do is have good hygiene, because it shows that if you can take care of yourself, she's going to look at that as, oh, well, you know, he can take care of other things.
Please, because if you're stinky, I'm not going to want to be near you.
For sure. Nobody wants to fuck on a dirty dick. I mean, it smells like cheese or something. I don't know, dick cheese.
Ew.
That shit crazy, bro. It's crazy. So be friendly in the profiles. And then don't show your abs, egotistical stuff. You know, it's funny. I was like, yo, I should give a contrast. What does a man look for in a dating profile, online profile for women? But I don't use dating online profiles, so I usually meet women through other people.
I've seen my friends dating.
Oh, break them down. What's so funny?
It's not funny. It's not.
It's pretty funny. You're laughing over there.
It's because some of the girls on there are like, it's just like the guys. They're like posting their butthole, like, on, okay, maybe not their butthole, but they're posting like their bodies on the dating profiles, or they just look crazy and not.
If I were to have an online dating profile, I feel like it'd actually be similar to what you describe. I would look for a woman that's being social, out and about, like has a life. She can't be busting it wide open on the damn I mean, she can if I'm just looking for a good time, but those chicks have to understand they're probably not going to get like a relationship. But yeah, I think it actually would probably be the same when I think about it. But I don't know, because I never really got into that. Did I ever tell you my online dating profile story?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you should tell it again. Or I mean, if you want. I know what it is.
Oh, was it? I think it was Plenty of Fish. I think somebody convinced me to sign up for that shit.
Yeah.
I was on there literally for no more than 5 minutes. I literally had just added my profile picture, and then a dude messaged me and it said, "Hey, TBH." He's like, "What you doing on here, man? Get the fuck out of here, loser." I'm paraphrasing. He was like clowning me for being on there trying to find somebody to to like date or whatever, I deleted the profile after. I was like, I'm never doing online dating or whatever. I didn't think that anybody would find me. And then I had the epiphany. I was like, why were you looking at dudes? Like, what were you doing, bro? Like, what are you trying to like? I live your truth, live your truth. But I just found that to be funny that he just found me.
I've looked at my guy friends' Twitters.
And
actually, one of my guy friends, he lives in Orlando. And we were looking at his his Tinder,
right,
on Discord.
You were like,
and there was a lot of beautiful women on there.
Yeah,
but he was like not picking them for like small reasons.
Like what?
Their height. What else did he?
I've never heard a dude say I wouldn't date no chick because of her height. And like, well, I take that back. Usually, yeah, taller women, dudes won't fuck with taller, but like short women, most women are short. They don't really fuck with them. I love tall women.
It was like taller women. If they were like bigger. I
mean, that's fair.
Preferences.
Preferences.
I can't remember.
I don't understand the tall women thing. I've talked to tall women before because usually, I mean, it's not hard to be taller than me. I'm only 5'5".
They look like they argue.
Nah, what?
No, I was thinking of things that he like.
He was saying they look like they can argue. No. I feel him on that. That's hard to explain, but as a man, you can usually look at a woman. Like I've done it when we watched Fresh and Fit before. I'd be like, that chick like she toxic. She talk too much. Like you can kind of tell in their energy. And usually I'd be right when they start talking.
Yeah, they're like, so, and I'm like,
oh. Hey, yo, you're like, how did you know that? You got enough experience with women, you'll see. But the height thing, I don't know. I think the tall women are great. It makes you feel like a conqueror. I don't understand why short dudes don't like tall women.
I think a lot of people have their preferences.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just like I don't really care for guys with abs. I'm sure there's guys that don't really care for girls with
Interesting.
fupas.
Hold on. Break that down. Why don't you like guys with abs?
No, I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm not saying I don't like them. I'll touch a pair of abs, but like I don't really care.
It's not a make or break for you.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
no, or if someone's fair. like I don't need someone that's 6 foot with abs.
It's not like it's just a bonus if you get it, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because I dated a guy that was really tall, really nice looking, and he was really boring. It's
funny because I always talk about that, like. Women always complain about tall, boring dudes, and it's usually because they don't have to develop their personality.
We would just sit there and we're just like staring at each other, like blinking.
Because what happened is he showed up to the date and he's like, "So you see, I'm tall, right?" He thought he was gonna get them draws because he was tall.
Well,
oh, he got the draws. Excuse me. Oh, excuse
me. We went on we were dating for a couple months.
Oh, okay.
And somehow it just got.
Well, hold on. You just said he was boring though. Why'd you give him a second date if he was boring?
It somehow got more boring as time progressed.
So he wasn't like that at first. He was interesting.
So on the first date, he was like pretty interesting.
That's it. Okay.
Second date was like.
He was alright.
Yeah, like it was whatever. Like. And then we watched the Harley Quinn show. The
cartoon?
Yeah.
I heard it was good recently.
And we walked my dog. Like we did normal stuff. I remember the very last time we hung out, we just were like sitting there like. Because then I realized over time that he was like into things that I wasn't into. Like.
So it was just a physical attraction.
Like drugs.
Oh.
Like I mean, not like anything crazy, just like smoking and.
Just not into it. Period.
I don't smoke. I don't want to do any shrooms. Or anything like that. Like I'm not into that.
It's hard to gauge in the beginning because everybody's interesting in the beginning because when you first meet somebody, they have their whole life story to tell you. I think the real test is maybe like after a month, 1 to 3 months of like getting to know somebody, how interesting they actually are. And that's where I think a lot of women don't do a good job of articulating it, but that's where I think a man's ambition comes into play because an ambitious man has a lot of ideas about what he wants to do, where he wants to go, what he believes in, and those become very interesting conversations. So it keeps the things and it engages the woman and makes her. And that's not to say he wasn't ambitious, but from just talking to a lot of women, that's what I hear all the time. It's like after you get past like, oh, what are your hobbies? What's your favorite color? Then it becomes like I'm not gonna lie to you. Me and her be having some of the most fire ass fucking conversations. before we talked for like 2 hours before we started recording.
We just need to record it.
Yeah, we honestly, I feel like we do just need to turn the camera on and just start talking because me and her, like and I wish we could have captured it, completely different topics, and it's because we're talking about things that involve mental health as well as our mind frame, what we want out of life, and I think that's what keeps something interesting between two individuals, your mind frame.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
You got to keep living life.
What's the mind frame of a pocket watcher? You know what a pocket watcher is?
I think so.
It's a person who literally watches your pockets. They count your money. Like a pocket watcher would be, let's say I'm streaming, right? And then you come into my chat and then you'll be like, you've seen it firsthand, so you know what I'm talking about. And they'll be like, oh, so how many subs you have? Like, quit watching my fucking pockets because they want to do the math. $5 times whatever, 1,000, 2, 3, 5,000. They're pocket watchers. They want to see how much money you make and then they want to make a judgment off of that shit. How you feel about pocket watchers?
I mean, it's not their business.
I always find that interesting because I feel like it's a new phenomenon. It's not a new phenomenon, but it's more prevalent online. I feel like nobody walks into fucking Subway. How much you make for making these fucking sandwiches? You know, like nobody does that, you know? First of all, we wouldn't go to Subway anyway because yoga mats on the bread and shit. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, I tried to get a job at Subway and they didn't even call me back.
Wow. That's their loss. You would have ate all their cookies.
Damn,
that's
I would have made some nice ass sandwiches for people.
As long as you didn't apply to Arby's. That's all that matters.
I've never eaten Arby's.
Good. That's why we're friends.
Have you eaten Arby's?
Don't insult me.
I'm just asking.
I've never eaten that. I never will.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you ate it and was like, this is trash.
No. Remember the other day when I told you that, like, usually when I say I don't like something, it comes from experience. That's the one time where I'm lying.
I will say their social media team is pretty good, though.
It's funny, though, because nobody's eating it. Like, is it really working? It has to be, like, one person who's going to Arby's.
My friends are, like, vegetarians and stuff. I had no idea.
You're bougie. We get it.
How is being vegetarian bougie?
I don't know. I'm just talking.
I'd argue is a little bit cheaper.
Is it really?
I mean, if you're just eating vegetables, if you start buying like fake meat, then yeah, that's where it gets a little bit pricey. But I mean, you shouldn't be eating that much soy, anyways.
Yeah.
But
we'll turn into a soy boy.
Arby's always posts like on social media stuff about like video games and anime.
Did it? Okay, so you just said that their social media is doing a good job. You complimented them, but are you eating at Arby's?
I was vegan and stuff, and I'm plant-based. I don't really ever eat meat.
So they're not doing that. If they're doing such a good job, you still would have went and ate it then.
Maybe not someone that's vegan or plant-based.
I'm just saying.
But someone that eats burgers all the time.
Hold up. This is how I'm gonna really test our friendship. Does Arby's look tasty to you? Like, I know
it looks like it stinks.
Okay, that's why we're friends.
It looks like it stinks inside.
It looks like it'll give you terrible fucking gas. Okay, that's so. Not only do you not eat it,
I've been in an Arby's and I refused to eat it.
What did it smell like? I've never actually been.
I don't remember. It was such a long time ago.
Was it the 90s?
Not that long ago.
Why you laugh at the 90s?
Huh?
Why you laugh at the 90s?
You're 90s. That long ago.
You're old.
No, I'm not. You're old.
Nah, I'm as young as I feel. But the reason I had brought up pocket watches is because a Twitch streamer right now is in some drama about because he bought like a $2 million home in LA and the reason people are like mad at him is because his name is Hassan. He built his whole platform on like he's a Bernie Sanders fan, like socialism and all that other stuff, which, you know, everybody's equal type stuff. But then he bought a $2 million home. What's your take on that?
I just feel like they shouldn't be in his business. He's like, it's like, this just in, a man that lives in LA bought a home in LA.
Right. I didn't look, was the house even big? Because I feel like $2 million in LA I don't feel like that's...
No, and people were like posting in the comments like $500,000 houses that were like little shacks. So
it's probably like an average house like in Texas.
In Texas, it's probably like a $400,000 or $500,000 house, maybe. Which a lot of people have those, especially people that move from Cali. They can afford it. We can't. Most of us.
My take on it is I don't understand why people care so much, but I get it. Like it is hypocritical, but at the end of the day, those people that follow him, they're fans of like Bernie or other people, and those guys have a lot of money too. Like, why don't you criticize
Bernie Sanders has a lot of money.
Yeah, I think he's a millionaire. Like, and they don't criticize them. So why are you just mad at Hassan, bro? Like, we're all hypocrites in some fashion.
But like, he still does charitable things.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna tell somebody else how to use their money that they work for? Unless
Yeah.
you're Jeff Bezos burning a hole in the atmosphere and not paying Amazon workers.
Right.
But like with him, I mean,
Also, is he not?
and he said his family's gonna live with him and stuff. So like,
I missed that part.
mhm.
So he's helping his family out. Also, is his content not giving you insight into the things that you enjoy? Like that's the value he's providing to other people.
He called some girl on Twitter. It was so funny. She was like complaining about him buying the $3 million house,
Right.
and he was like, "You literally have." I don't know if it was Patreon. He was like, "You literally have like a Patreon link in your bio,"
Yeah.
and she's like, "Oh, that's different." And it's like, "Oh, it's only different because I'm making more and you're making."
Right. Also, what's the end game? What did they want? Like, is he supposed to be like, you know what? Y'all right, man. Let me call the realtor up. I think I got the receipt around here somewhere. Maybe I should just turn the house back.
There is no
in.
end game.
Yeah. What's the point of complaining?
I think with social media, people feel like they have like access into your life.
Yeah.
Where like it's not like bitch, that's not your money or anything to do with it. Like he's still working for his money. He's still doing charitable things. He's taking care of his family. They're moving in with him. And he lives in an expensive city, and it's because of work most likely. What's the problem?
If he is doing, because I'm not too familiar, I've only seen like clips on Twitch, but if what you're saying is correct about him doing charitable things, if somebody buys a $2 million home, let's say he's making like $10 million a year, and like a lot of it is going to charity. We don't know how much is going to charity or how much is going to help people on the streets and stuff like that. What's the big deal with buying a $2 million home? He's always going to have excess money because of the platform that he built, but he's still using this platform to do something positive.
Yeah, I feel like when people say eat the rich, it's not those types.
Who says that? Eat the rich.
I see it all the time on Twitter.
I mean, what the fuck does that mean? Eat the rich.
Yeah. It's just like they're saying that there shouldn't be billionaires or anything.
Mm.
Because a lot of those people don't pay taxes or like a large amount of taxes.
But that's not the billionaire's fault. That's the government and like the people that they voted.
They're
utilizing the loopholes. Yeah, they're taking advantage of it.
So like,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
I don't know, but like certain people, like if you take, like I mean, we talked about it on the last episode, like Jeff Bezos going to space and like, but he's still like not paying his Amazon workers a fair wage. You like a dickhead. Yeah, and then like Joel Osteen buying like all these cars and mansions, but then when there was a Houston flood, he didn't let anybody in the church for safety.
He's a prime example. He
closed the doors.
He's a prime example of how cancel culture is not real because
Joel Osteen?
Yeah, because he's making all of that money, but then he didn't open up his church when Houston flooded.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't y'all cancel him? That's a man of God right there, right?
People did try, but all the aunties eat it up.
Yeah, there's like, we need him. It ain't. What'd you just say?
The aunties.
The aunties.
Like my mom, she was like, "Oh, Joel Osteen," and I'm like, "Do you even know what he did?" Like,
they're not on the internet. They're not in tune. They're not in tune with what's going on. So, yeah, it is what it is.
His book.
I think his book. It was so good. I just read it. I don't know. Freaking. I think this is just like the drama of the week. Like in a week it'll pass. Like people will get over it because then they're gonna
usually do.
Yeah, like also he's gonna stream from the house. You guys are gonna get more content. Like you're gonna start complaining.
Too.
Did he really?
I'm gonna be streaming from this house. My family's gonna be living in this house. Like,
right. Like God forbid. Is that not the American dream too? To give your family a good life, and then when the man does it, you complain.
I think it's a lot of people that are projecting, and instead of using their energy to try to like make their life better, they're more interested in what everybody else is doing. And I think that's how people like lose focus and lose their purpose. But then when they look around, they wonder why they don't have anything, and it's like you're wasting all of your energy like pocket watching.
Also, to be fair, and I could be wrong, but I didn't see him post his house. I saw like YouTubers and like people on Twitter looking at his info, like his public info, and then like posting it.
It was like
it wasn't
like
him gloating. Yeah, that and like I could be wrong, but I didn't see that. And if that's the case, it's like you guys were pocket watching, and you found people look for reasons to be mad about shit. So I think that's weird.
That's such a violation of privacy, even though it's public information.
Yeah.
Like who looks for that?
Yeah, like why did you want his address? Like,
how do you find that?
Yeah, be safe, dude. Like pay attention. Like, I mean, I would imagine it's public info the same way your who your car is registered is public info. They get like the VIN number or something like that. So like I'd imagine, I don't know because I haven't bought in a home, but I'd imagine there's some public info that they can look up, like a number or something.
Yeah, or you could just be like Kanye and leak the Addy.
Who you got in the Drake and the Kanye beef?
Nobody.
You don't like Drake or Kanye?
I always say that I don't really care that much.
Oh, true.
And I don't know. My chat thinks I'm weird for not thinking that Drake is like hot or anything. Like I wouldn't give him the time of day.
I'm a man, so like I don't really care about the attraction.
I was like, I don't like him. Like I don't know.
I think that's weird that dudes you don't find him attractive. Like people have different preferences.
You don't want to talk to Drake? No.
I would argue most women didn't probably think he was attractive until he was like successful. So like, what's the big deal? It's just because he's successful. People feel like.
I mean, he was nice on Degrassi.
Yeah, I love when he got shot.
Corey.
It was a great episode.
That was a scary episode.
What was scary? It was fake.
I was like in middle school when Degrassi came out. Right?
True. Yeah, I was like in like high school, I think. Yeah, that shit was funny though, bro. Like the way he fell on the ground, that shit was a meme. I thought it was great because that show, low key, Degrassi was it was my guilty pleasure. Like it was one of those shows I never told people that I watched, but I was tuning into that bitch like every weekend, bro.
Like, she's pregnant.
Like you ever seen those memes on TikTok of like when a woman introduces her man to her shows and the man's like, I don't want to watch that shit, and then by like episode 3 he's like super into it and got like the wine and stuff.
Same thing with skincare.
That was like my show, like basically. Like I remember when that dude got old girl pregnant, the black girl, and then he became a drug dealer and he got clapped. I was like, oh my God. I was on the edge of my seat.
I was rooting for you.
I was rooting for you, bro.
Yeah.
It tackled real life issues though. Shout out to Degrassi, man. Shout out to Degrassi.
Yeah.
Yo, Twitter might add a dislike button. How you feel about that?
I heard about that, and apparently you can't see the dislikes. Like from what they were saying, like you're not gonna be able to see the dislikes.
You is in the public or
the
like
creator and the public. It was more so for like the algorithm. If it were to show,
how can you actually see how can you actually see the dislike button then? Like if nobody can see it. You mean the votes?
The number, yeah.
So like when a person sees the tweet, they'll see the like and the dislike, but once they hit that, nobody actually sees the numbers.
I don't think they'll see the dislike numbers. From what I gathered, I'm not 100% sure. If they're showing the numbers, I don't think they should. Because I feel like people could just do like hate campaigns against somebody.
I was gonna say that. That's why I brought it. That's why I put it like I wanted to talk about, because like that could be dangerous. Like especially people who have like political platforms. If people don't like their message, they can just, and I've seen it where people coordinate in a Discord. I mean, we've seen it with the Twitch hate raids. Imagine those people trying to silence, like, I don't know, like people who are doing a protest for, I don't know, Black Lives Matter or something like that. It's appeal. You could downvote the shit of where it's supposed to be and what time. Like people could coordinate that shit, so it could be dangerous. But that's good that you're saying, because I didn't know. I read the article, but I missed that part about the numbers.
I mean, I was just like reading other articles, so I'm not 100% sure. Like it wasn't very clear on exactly what they were doing.
What's the purpose of the dislike button period? Like I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's what I was saying. I think it was just for the algorithm.
I don't even hit the dislike button on YouTube. Like very rarely, maybe like 5 times in my life.
I don't think I've ever do it. I've only ever hit the upvote button, and then if I don't like it, I just don't dislike it.
Like I think I hit the dislike button once when it was like it's like terrorist video I seen, and like it was like some real graphic footage. Like this should not be on YouTube. Dislike and report. Like that type of stuff, I will. But like if it's just like a video where like somebody has a difference of opinion, I won't hit the dislike. I don't care that much.
Either.
It doesn't, and also it doesn't affect the video. Most people don't know that. It actually helps the video when you dislike it. I probably shouldn't have said that, but any type of it's vanity metrics. It's all just for show. But any type of engagement is actually good on YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So that might be a thing. But that's all I had to talk about. I really don't have anything else to think on the mind. You got anything else in your mind?
No.
Yeah, I'm tired. You hungry?
No thoughts. Head empty.
I don't got no thoughts either.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. So we about to go to Juicy Crab. We about to.
No, we're not going to Juicy Crab.
Yeah, because they always say we talk about crab and boba like every episode.
We're going to Las Palapas.
Are we really?
Yeah.
What is that?
Get some tacos.
You being serious?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Whatever she wants. So we're going to Los Santos. Yeah, we're going to Los Santos. So we appreciate you guys listening to episode, what is this, 9 of Loosely Outlined?
I don't even know anymore.
I hope so. Make sure to hit the like button if you're watching the video version at youtube.com/loosely-outlined. Make sure to follow me on social media. Twitter, Instagram is @TheBlackHokage. What's yours?
@Zaea J.
True. And rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And we will see you guys on the next episode of
Loosely Outlined.
Your.